Channel 11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
A live look from the Channel 11 tower cam. Cloudy right now. A chance for freezing rain tonight in Pittsburgh. And parts of our area will see a wintry mix with everything from sleet to snow. And ice could be a big issue. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier tracking the changes now in Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, Gordon, we do have that threat here in Pittsburgh of seeing some freezing rain. I think that's going to be more so during a couple of hours in the evening. And then we have a winter weather advisory that will go into effect for counties north and east of Allegheny 6 p.m. today and continue until 10 a.m. Tuesday. And a winter storm warning will go into effect at 2 p.m. here today and continue until 10 a.m. for the ridges of Westmoreland and Fayette counties as well as the mountains. This is because we are tracking this precipitation that's down to the south that will slowly creep its way to the north as we head into the late afternoon. The precipitation will enter our southern communities first and then gradually spread into Pittsburgh later this evening. So I'm going to walk you through the temperature forecast hour by hour because those temperatures will play a critical role in what we see. I'll have that in the timeline of the wintry weather for tonight coming up.
It was organized, it was painless, and I feel so relieved to have gotten this vaccine.
She was one of the first to get a vaccine at a clinic that opened to people who are not healthcare workers in Monroeville today. It's an opportunity for people 65 and older. Many have been wondering when they will get their turn. Channel 11's Mike Holden learned appointments filled up fast.
This Monroeville hotel right here behind me has transformed into a COVID-19 vaccination clinic. Demand at this point is still extremely high, and those that got the shot right here today say it was well worth it. Cars filled the DoubleTree Monroeville hotel parking lot this morning. People 65 and older came here with one goal in mind: get their COVID-19 vaccine. The clinic hosted by the Allegheny County Health Department saw a huge turnout. All of the spots for the appointment-only event filled up in a matter of minutes. Health Department officials say they're still focused on vaccinating healthcare workers and those getting their second shot. However, those that received their first dose today say the process was extremely simple and organized. They told us this is a real game changer.
I'm not only doing it for myself, I'm doing it for the community, because if we all get these vaccines and we can help stop the spread and maybe stop some of the fear that people have about getting it also.
And if you're 65 and older and want to book your shot, head over to WPXI.com and the WPXI News app. There you can find additional resources and guidance. In the meantime, how was the process for the people who lined up today, and what's their advice to everyone who's still waiting on that shot? That part of the story is coming up for Channel 11 News starting at 5. Reporting in Monroeville, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Vaccine maker Moderna is developing a booster shot to protect against newly emerging variants of the virus. The company says studies show its existing vaccine is effective against the UK variant. And while it's also effective against the strain discovered in South Africa, it seems to be less protective. In the past hour, the Allegheny County Health Department released its update on COVID cases. They have learned of 620 new cases since Saturday, so that's a two-day total. 6 additional deaths were also reported. The two-day total for new COVID cases statewide is 7,910. The Pittsburgh Public School Board wants to hear from parents about its plan to bring students back into the classroom in April. They're holding a public comment period tonight at 6. School officials say pushing the date to April would give them more time to vaccinate employees. They plan to make a final decision Wednesday night. Meanwhile, winter sports resume today for Pittsburgh public school students. Games and practices have been on hold since November. This includes wrestling, swimming, and basketball. Superintendent Anthony Hamlet says this will allow flexibility so students have the opportunity for championship games and state competitions. The state program to help people out of work is back up and running. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond takes us through the steps to get additional unemployment assistance.
We spoke to one man who says he only has $7.97 in his checking account. He's been calling and calling and calling, and he's been waiting and waiting and waiting.
I literally called them 150 times in 2 days to just try to get through. Rings once, hangs up, rings once, hangs up.
And he's still calling and he's still waiting. Lee Zugwig, just one of more than 100,000 Pennsylvanians enrolled in the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program. It ended in December. Payments stopped even though Congress passed an extension for these benefits. The state couldn't do anything, it says, because it had to reprogram the entire computer system. That's the reason for this gap here. If this impacts you, listen up to this. Starting now, you can file for the additional 11 claim weeks. If you had some of your original 13 weeks left over on December 26th, you will also get the additional 11 weeks. If you were being paid on Pennsylvania's extended benefits program before December 26th, you need to complete your EB benefits before the additional 11 weeks of PEUC can be added to your claim. Here's something easy. You automatically get an extra $300 a week through the federal program. You don't have to do anything extra to get this. Now, a lot of people have been reaching out to us, emails and messages saying that they can't get onto the website or they're having trouble filing for previous weeks in January. We reached out to the Department of Labor and Industry. We'll let you know what we find out about these issues and what they're doing to remedy them tonight at 5. Reporting on the North Shore, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
Talks are underway about sending out another COVID stimulus check. Top aides to President Joe Biden are in talks with Senate Republicans and Democrats. President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package includes direct payments of $1,400 to most Americans. A memorial continues to grow in front of Hofstadt's Cafe Monaco in Oakmont. Owner Danny Monaco died from COVID and was laid to rest on Friday. His daughter told us they plan to hold a celebration of life for Danny and the restaurant's 50th anniversary in September. A GoFundMe page has been set up for the family of another restaurant owner who passed away after fighting COVID. We told you about Mark Fiala. He died Friday after battling the virus for several weeks. He owned Pizza Masters in Hopewell Township and was a beloved figure in the community. Money from the GoFundMe account will go towards medical bills and funeral expenses. If you'd like to donate, there's a link up on the WPXI News app. About 7,000 members of the National Guard will stay in D.C. through the end of the month. Another 5,000 will stay through mid-March. They'll help with security, communications, and logistics. 25,000 were in the Capitol after the riot and through the inauguration. As of yesterday, prosecutors have charged more than 120 people in connection with the riot. Former President Donald Trump's second impeachment trial starts next month, but the process begins tonight. Our Jacqueline Fell is in Washington, where a growing number of Republican senators are objecting to the trial.
Nearly 2 weeks ago, the House voted to impeach Donald Trump for incitement of insurrection after the Capitol siege. Tonight, the House impeachment managers will march that single article of impeachment across to the Senate side of the Capitol, officially triggering the trial. Senators will be sworn in as jurors tomorrow, and then the trial is expected to start the week of February 8th. A 2/3 majority will be needed to convict the former president, which means at least 17 Republican senators would need to join all 50 Democrats. That just isn't likely to happen. Some Republican senators aren't convinced President Trump's speech on January 6th incited the angry mob that stormed the Capitol. Others say since he's already out of office, it's time to move on and focus on other things. A conviction would bar Mr. Trump from holding office in the future. As the trial nears, there's concerns that we could see more violence at the Capitol. As many as 5,000 National Guard troops will stay in town through mid-March. In Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
It's something that's completely unlike him. He's never done this before.
Pittsburgh police are looking for this man. They put out an alert about Thomas Hughes yesterday. And since then, Channel 11 learned his family found his van with the keys still in the ignition. The van was found at the entrance to the Three Rivers Heritage Trail on the south side. Police blocked off part of the 18th Street area while they looked through the silver Volkswagen and the surrounding area. River Rescue was also called in but found nothing.
It's something that's completely unlike him. He's never done this before, and I'm worried sick.
His family says he was wearing a black T-shirt, dark jeans, black boots, and a black jacket when he left his home Saturday night. There's a new push to find a Shaler woman who's been missing for more than a year. Police want to know if you have seen 70-year-old Janet Walsh. Last January, her daughter reported her missing after she didn't show up for dinner. Her cell phone was found in her home, but her silver Chevy Trax was gone. Police say it's very unusual that they've not even been able to find her car. 2 men are behind bars accused of breaking into a McKeesport home and attacking a person inside. That victim later died. Police say Devin Hale and another man knocked on the door of a home on Grover Street Tuesday night. When the victim answered the door, Hale and his accomplice forced their way inside. Hale is accused of hitting the victim, David Gutierrez Faust, in the head before strangling him. The second suspect is accused of stealing money and crack cocaine from the house. We're working to find out if an arrest has been made in connection with a shooting in McKeesport. That's where a woman was shot in the leg. Those shots were fired at about midnight on Brom Street. Officers from White Oak helped McKeesport police canvass the scene. A local woman is accused of hanging up after calling 911 at least 40 times. Every time there's a hang-up, police must respond, and they've been to the woman's New Stanton home 40 times since September. Police say each time they show up, she tells them there's no emergency or refuses to answer the door. She was arrested Thursday for making false alarms. COVID has impacted almost every facet of our lives. How it's making tax season a little more complicated. You've heard about the new strains of COVID, and health officials say not all masks work to help stop all strains. The new warning coming up next.
Plus, I'm tracking that wintry mix of rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. The timeline, when you can expect it, coming up.
Starting tomorrow, travelers will be required to get a COVID test within 3 days of boarding a plane to the U.S. If you test positive, you could be stuck in another country for a couple of weeks. Local travel agent Molly Fitzgerald has already seen clients cancel or change their trips because of this. If you test positive, you'll have to quarantine inside the country that you're visiting for 14 days, and you're responsible for any added costs, including the test.
Prices could range from, I've seen everything from $150 to $250 per person. So that can really add up as an unexpected extra cost.
And there is no leeway here. Airlines will be strictly enforcing this new measure. Top doctors agree that the vaccines being put into people's arms right now should hold up against the new COVID strains that we are seeing detected around the world. But health officials now have new guidance about mask wearing to protect you from these more contagious strains. Stephanie Gosk has the new information.
Less than a month after first being detected in the U.S., the UK variant of COVID-19 has been found in at least 23 states, as health experts warn the mutation could become the dominant strain by March.
This strain has the potential to spread very quickly in this country.
While researchers are working to determine if the variant has a higher death rate, it's clear the strain is much easier to transmit. To prevent a more disastrous surge, doctors say it's time to double down on mask wearing.
This is not something to wait on. We should be getting higher quality masks, and people should be wearing higher quality masks more or less right away.
While N95 masks are still the gold standard, blocking 95% of particles, they may be harder to find and should be reserved for healthcare workers. Experts now say the next best thing may be double masking.
Wearing two masks helps improve the filtration ability of the mask in both directions, and so it helps protect you better and it helps protect others.
Researchers at Virginia Tech found layering two cloth masks will up the efficacy from 50% to 75%. And wearing a 3-layer mask can block up to 90% of particles, providing near N95 protection. Ideal for so-called high-risk situations, like traveling, going to the grocery store, or gathering with others.
You want to wear your best possible mask, which includes multiple layers, ideally some kind of filter material, and a really good fit.
Experts say wearing a single lower-grade medical face covering like a KF94 or a double-layered cloth covering with a high thread count will provide a basic level of protection if there's a secure fit. The bottom line, more layers mean more protection, and those loose-fitting or single-layer coverings are just not enough. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
A local restaurant is doing what it can to help first responders during the pandemic. Today, Park Valley Lounge is donating every dollar from food sales between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. to the Broughton Volunteer Fire Company in South Park. The lounge's owner says first responders have struggled just like everyone else, and they wanted to give back.
This whole community counts on those fellas. They're hurting just like everybody else.
Today's fundraiser will use money from both dine-in and takeout orders. It is Restaurant Week in Greensburg, and local businesses there need your help. The goal is to bring people in after the holidays. So more than a dozen restaurants are offering discounts, both for dine-in and takeout. There are breakfast and lunch options, as well as dinner. Restaurant Week continues through Sunday. Godiva is closing all 128 stores in North America. That includes its Pittsburgh store at the Ross Park Mall. Most stores will stay open through Valentine's Day, one of its biggest moneymakers. You'll still be able to buy Godiva chocolate online and at stores like Target, CVS, and Walgreens. DoorDash is charging some customers more than others. Over the last couple of months, some users have noticed a new fee just before checkout. This extra fee is only popping up in cities where local governments placed limits on how much delivery platforms can charge restaurants. So to make up for the limits, DoorDash has added new customer charges. Uber Eats plans to add similar fees in over a dozen markets over the next few weeks. Right now, Pittsburgh is not one of those cities. After an 0-2 start, the Penguins are on a winning streak with 4 in a row. Yesterday was another comeback win. Trailing in the third, the Pens tied it up and went on to win 3-2. With a shorter season, every game counts even more. The Pens head to Boston tomorrow for a 2-game series against the Bruins.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, happy Monday. We're taking a look at some wintry weather that's going to be moving back into our forecast as we head into tonight. Already had some snow late last night and overnight, but what we're looking at is a wintry mix developing as soon as mid-afternoon for our far southern communities. We're talking Greene County, Monongalia County, and then that threat will gradually spread to the north with time here this evening. Freezing rain will be occurring in spots, and that will make for some slippery roads out there. You can see right now on our storm tracker Doppler 11 radar the widespread precipitation that is occurring down to our south. And again, this is going to gradually lift up toward our direction later this evening. Wanted to let you know we still have some fog out there. We've been dealing with that this morning. Visibility is reduced to 6 miles in the city and in Washington. So do expect some of that limited visibility if you're out traveling. We've been dealing with a little bit of mist as well occurring out of those clouds. Temperatures are ranging from 30 in Pittsburgh and Greensburg to 31 in Butler and 32 in Indiana. We're going to climb into the middle 30s this afternoon. And the hour-by-hour temperature forecast is really important because we have to watch what the temperatures are doing as the precipitation comes in. Now, right now, it looks like on the data that the precipitation is going to be holding off until after sunset for Pittsburgh. So we're really monitoring the hours between about 7 and 11 p.m. Now, this is just one particular model data showing you what the temperatures could be during this time period when we're seeing that precipitation. But I've seen others that get as low as 32 degrees. So we really have to watch that time frame to where we could have a brief period of freezing rain here in the city. For now, there is no advisory for Allegheny County, but I'll keep you updated on if that changes. Here's 4:30 this afternoon. You can see that purple shaded color. That's a mix of rain, perhaps even a little bit of snow or sleet in those areas. That's going to be pushing across our southern communities. Meanwhile, you can see here at 7:30 p.m. we begin to see that precipitation move into Allegheny County. And again, it will be a wintry mix at this point. It could be rain, it could be a little bit of freezing rain, maybe even some sleet. The snow chances will be mixing in primarily, I think, in areas north and east of the city. You can see that white shaded color there. This is a snapshot at 9:30 p.m. But notice that purple shaded color. So again, freezing rain a threat. But what happens once we get closer to 11 p.m. and midnight is the temperatures begin to rise. And that's great news for us here in the city and points to the south. However, there will be the I-80 corridor and our northeast counties and ridges, they're in purple, that really have to be concerned because that freezing rain threat will continue for you all overnight and into your Tuesday morning commute. So roads could be slippery out there. And we're going to have showers on and off throughout the day on Tuesday with that freezing rain threat ultimately continuing for I-80 areas and the ridges as we head into late morning on Tuesday. As far as any ice accumulation right now, it looks like the biggest impacts are going to be down here in the winter storm warning areas I showed you earlier. Those places could see up to 1/4 of an inch of ice. And then here near, north, and east of Pittsburgh, we could see a few hundredths inches of ice. So 32 this evening, but rising overnight tonight. We'll be tracking that wintry mix, and then icy roads will be one of our biggest concerns late tonight into tomorrow morning for our area. 47 with showers Tuesday, 35 Wednesday. We'll cool things back off on Thursday. I'm tracking yet another weather system that could impact our weather by Thursday. I'll have that for you coming up in the next half hour. And you can just tell, are they sleeping right now?
These daycare workers are anxious about COVID-19, why they say they should be getting the vaccine now. And COVID is making tax season a little more complicated. We break down some of the changes you can see coming up next. Filing your taxes this year could be trickier because of COVID-19. Questions about unemployment, working from home, and stimulus payments have left Americans wondering how this will impact any refund they may be owed. NBC's Dan Shedeman breaks down the changes.
Unemployment, stimulus payments, and even that side hustle will impact what taxes you owe and any refund you are owed.
Unemployment income is taxable, and so that may have a little bit of an impact on your tax return.
Stimulus payments are not taxable, but you do need to account for the cash.
You'll be reporting if you received the first stimulus payment, the second stimulus payment, and if you thought you were entitled to more.
If you think you got shortchanged on stimulus money, it is possible the IRS doesn't know about life changes, such as a new child, dependent status, or a significant change in income. And those who picked up a side gig may owe even more.
If you're a gig worker, the income that you're earning is taxable, and you're responsible for paying those taxes.
Kathy Pickering is the chief tax expert for H&R Block. She says full-time employees working from home due to the coronavirus cannot deduct their home office.
If you're an employee of a company, you aren't eligible to take the home office deduction or any of those unreimbursed business expenses.
Pickering encourages everyone to file electronically, whether you do your own taxes or enlist the help of a professional.
The fastest way to get your refund is to file electronically and then have your refund direct deposited into your bank account.
The IRS will start accepting tax returns February 12th. Dan Shedeman, NBC News.
Even without that vaccine.
Daycare workers say they should be the first to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Why? They say their line of work makes them high risk.
And I'm tracking this tricky system with the mixed precipitation coming in today. But coming up, I'll show you your hour-by-hour temperature forecast, not only for tonight, but what you can expect if you're heading out tomorrow as well.
Live look from the Channel 11 Tower Cam. You can see it's cloudy out there right now. We could see some freezing rain in Pittsburgh tonight. And a wintry mix of everything from freezing rain to sleet and snow in parts of our area. Channel 11's Danielle Dozier tracking the timing of it all in Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, Gordon, this winter weather advisory will go into effect at 6 p.m. here today and continue until 10 a.m. for counties north and east of Allegheny County. And then a winter storm warning will go into effect at 2 p.m. here today and continue until the same time on Tuesday for the ridges of Westmoreland and Fayette counties. And that is because we could have some snow and freezing rain. So ice will be a concern, not only in the ridges, but also across our area. We are looking at a wintry mix developing here later this evening, and that could include freezing rain in spots, which will lead to some hazardous slippery travel. So coming up in my Severe Weather Team 11 full forecast, I'm going to walk you through our maps that show you the timing of when this precipitation comes into the forecast. We'll talk temperatures and what to expect tonight and throughout the day Tuesday, all coming up.
We just wish that there was, a set timeline and a way that people can get the vaccines faster.
Daycare workers believe they should be among the first in line for a COVID vaccine. They tell Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca children are known carriers of the virus, but some are too young to wear masks.
Childcare workers across our state have yet to receive the COVID-19 vaccine because they are in Category 1B. I talked to the owners of a local daycare today who say they would like to be first in line whenever they're eligible to be vaccinated.
I would be there tomorrow if there was a spot for me.
At STEM Steps Child Care Center, you'll see a lot of this. Staff holding babies and teachers comforting children as they try to make life as normal as possible for the dozens of kids who attend the center.
Rocking them, holding them, feeding them, they're teething, their saliva is going everywhere.
Even just giving them comfort if they're upset or not, having difficulty in the classroom. We like to get down on their level.
Well, that's part of the job. It means staff is extra close to kids during the coronavirus pandemic. And even though all staff and kids over 2 years old are masked, there is still a chance of contracting COVID.
I think it's scary. It's scary for a lot of our staff. Just because we see other teachers in other states that are already getting vaccinated.
The 1A category for vaccinations isn't even complete yet, and child caregivers are lumped into the 1B section, along with first responders, postal workers, grocery store employees, and the list goes on.
I do hope that we end up at the top of that list, but we don't know where we're going to end up, so that is a little bit scary.
STEM Steps has only had one COVID case so far, which they credit to their strict protocols, but they'd feel even safer once they receive the vaccine.
I just would feel even more comfortable being with my students, staff, and families in the building.
The state has said that they hope to be in the 1B category sometime soon. However, there is no exact time frame on when that will be. Reporting in the North Hills, Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
I'm so happy I was able to get the shot.
A new partnership is helping seniors get their vaccines. Over the weekend, the Hilltop Pharmacy and the Allentown Business Association rented buses to get people to a vaccination clinic. More than 1,000 seniors who live in the Caligari high-rise in Allentown were taken to Peters Township to get their shots.
The senior high-rise has a lot of people who desperately needed to get this. And even myself, it's a scary thing not to have the vaccine. So we were so happy that they organized this, and it's gone easy.
Hilltop Pharmacy says it's also vaccinated nearly 3,000 frontline healthcare workers. Allegheny Health Network is looking for people to donate plasma. AHN is partnering with other providers for the Convalescent Plasma Pittsburgh project. They're looking for COVID survivors to get screened to see whether they're eligible to donate. If you are, you will give blood, and that will be checked for antibodies.
And then we take these antibodies in the plasma, and then we infuse it in patients who are actually actively being treated for COVID. And that, in theory, is supposed to help fight the COVID infection. It's something that's been done for more than 100 years. It's not a new technology.
To donate, your blood is drawn and then processed, and the plasma will be separated. President Biden will sign an executive order today to strengthen American manufacturing. It starts a process to make good on a campaign promise to strengthen federal Buy American rules. Administration officials said Biden will set a 180-day deadline to deliver on changes. The idea is to use tax money to buy American and support American jobs. New developments on the push for economic relief for millions of Americans. White House officials held a conference call with a bipartisan group of senators to try to drum up support for the $1.9 trillion plan. But there is major pushback from Republican senators. Reporter Lauren Fox has more on where negotiations stand.
President Joe Biden forging ahead with his COVID-19 relief plan, attempting to pass his $1.9 trillion package with bipartisan help. Sunday night, the president's team invited 16 senators from both sides of the aisle onto a call. One person on the call tells CNN a top priority is money for coronavirus vaccine distribution.
We asked for more data. There were a lot of nerds on this call, and we want the backup. It's not going to be easy.
Republican Senator Susan Collins, who was on the call, has reservations, writing in a statement, quote, "It seems premature to be considering a package of this size and scope." If Republicans don't get on board with Biden's so-called American Rescue Plan, Senate Democrats may try to pass the bill using a rare and controversial budget process.
That is 50 votes in the Senate plus the vice president to pass legislation desperately needed by working families in this country right now.
The Senate remains at a standstill as the debate over an organizing resolution is stalling Biden's legislative agenda. Democrats can't take full control of the Senate until an agreement is made, meaning Republicans will be chairing Biden's confirmation hearings until then. The gridlock happening as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi prepares to deliver the articles of impeachment against former President Donald Trump to the Senate later today.
I believe it will be a fair trial, but it will move relatively quickly.
Many Republicans speaking out against holding an impeachment trial for a former president.
I think the trial is stupid. I think it's counterproductive. We already have a flaming fire in this country, and it's like taking a bunch of gasoline and pouring it on top of the fire.
But not all Republicans agree.
You'll find that the preponderance of the legal opinion is that a impeachment trial after someone has left office is constitutional. What is being alleged and what we saw, which is incitement to insurrection, is an impeachable offense. If not, what is?
House impeachment managers insist the integrity of the White House is at stake.
The only time you would try and pull off a coup would be in your final hours in office. And so if you're not willing to hold someone accountable all the way to the last hour, then presidents would have this kind of, free skip school day or, a free get out of jail free card because their conduct occurred in the last few weeks of their presidency.
The articles of impeachment will be delivered tonight. And then tomorrow, the senators will be sworn in as jurors, but the trial will not start until early February. Green, yellow, or red? The rating the state's highways just got and the changes being recommended. Plus, the new warning about a mystery package that may show up at your front door. Have you ever gotten a package you didn't order? Well, it could be part of a scheme. This weekend, the FTC issued a new alert. They say people are using fake accounts to place orders so they can write fake positive reviews about their products. The FTC says sending unordered merchandise is legal. They've tried stopping it by going after marketers that use fake reviews. Yellow, that is the rating Pennsylvania received from a recent highway safety report. It's coming from advocates for highway and auto safety. The Commonwealth is among 30 states to receive a yellow rating. That means improvement is needed. It all comes down to what they call gaps in laws. This includes seatbelt enforcement, driving restrictions for teens, and the lack of a requirement for helmets on motorcycles. A historic Pittsburgh library is open again after a major renovation. The Mount Washington branch of the Carnegie Library just completed a multi-million-dollar renovation, almost doubling their space, adding energy-efficient heating and cooling systems and more spots dedicated to children and teenagers.
We are so eager and anxious to welcome people into our buildings and to allow them to use a library like this the way it was meant to be used.
For now, the library is only open for curbside service. Cooper says they'll be watching the virus closely to see when it's safe to fully reopen.
We hope you like all the cookies we send to you.
Special deliveries from some local kids, the support they're getting as they deliver sweet treats to heroes.
Low 30s right now, and we are currently dry, but this changes later on tonight. I'm monitoring your temperature and road forecast coming up.
People started calling, and whenever we would call our family, we would ask them, and then we got to 100 boxes.
2 local Girl Scouts are making it their mission to send sweet treats to heroes, and the sisters were able to double their goal. Channel 11's Lori Hoy has more on the sweet surprise for everyone on board the USS Theodore Roosevelt.
Guess what time it is? It's cookie time!
9-year-old Ansley and 6-year-old Caroline Thornsberry are on a mission to sell Girl Scout cookies. This is their sales pitch posted on Facebook.
This year, we're going on a bigger goal
for 200 cookies.
The sisters aren't just trying to earn a badge. They're selling the cookies for their neighbor who's in the Navy. Their mom told me this all started last year and has grown beyond expectations.
I think it was literally the day before the deadline. I said to Susan, man, I wish we could have sent some cookies to Andrew.
In a day's time, people stepped up and bought 100 boxes that were sent to Lieutenant Andrew Casson, who is an F-18 pilot deployed on the USS Theodore Roosevelt. He is the Thornsberry's neighbor's son, who had no idea of the sweet treat he was getting on the ship.
He was surprised when he got them, and he said they were so surprised and so thankful, and the hit of his squadron and the ship.
And this year, these young Girl Scouts are at it again.
Good that they're all kind of participating.
Selling cookies for Lieutenant Casson and his shipmates who are on another deployment.
I think about them taking some home for their families, too.
The goal was 200 boxes of cookies, but the Thornsberry girls have already exceeded that. Each box has a handwritten note, and again, it'll be a surprise delivery.
I think it's great that the community's rallying together in these difficult times to support the men and women in the military, especially on this ship that had such a difficult deployment last year. This was the one that was stuck in Guam with COVID-19.
This is also an important life lesson for these two young Girl Scouts.
I hope it's a lesson to them of the importance of the military and reaching out to somebody beyond themselves. Selling Girl Scout cookies is fun. It's a fun fundraiser, a good goal, but giving back is kind of more important for us.
We hope you like all the cookies we send to you. Yes.
Ansley and Caroline are accepting cookie orders through January 28th, and I'm told they'll be shipped out shortly after that. From Upper St. Clair, Lori Hoy, Channel 11 News.
That is just fantastic. Well, a record-setting number of birds were recently found in Pittsburgh. During the Audubon Society's Christmas bird count, 78 species were spotted. That is one of the highest numbers in the count's 110-year history. This bird census is done every year to help scientists track bird population. Officials say the high count is due to some birds deciding to spend the winter in the region, while others from the south are expanding their range into the Pittsburgh area.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
A live look over the city. You can see that overcast sky. We've been dealing with some fog, and it's been dense in spots, leading to a little bit of drizzle or mist. We've been dealing with that with 30-degree air temperature and a 30-degree wind chill because the wind is light at 3 miles per hour. Here, what we can expect today is this precipitation will gradually push our direction. That's going to lead to that threat of wintry mix later on this evening. As for the rest of today, the temperature will only climb into the mid-30s. So if you're out and about walking, make sure you have your heavy coat on, and the temperature at 6 p.m. near 34 degrees. As far as getting outside the next few days, we will be tracking more rain that's coming into the picture as we head into Tuesday. Wednesday looks to be a dry day, although it'll be chilly, and then we'll be dealing with a few snow showers from time to time on Thursday. Here's our storm tracker maps at 5 o'clock this afternoon, showing you that precipitation is already in Greene County, Morgantown, and Uniontown. It'll start mid-afternoon for those folks down there. And we are looking at the threat for rain, as well as maybe even a little bit of sleet mixed in. That's the purple shaded color you see that's going by the screen. That threat in Pittsburgh will increase mainly after sunset. We're talking closer to dinner time, so maybe 7, 8 o'clock. We're dealing with rain here in Pittsburgh, Greensburg, and we'll be tracking those temperatures closely because I just looked at the road temperatures. They are above freezing at this moment, and the air temperatures will be dipping right back down to about 32, 33 degrees between about 7 p.m. and about 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. So there could be a brief period of time here this evening where we'll be tracking that threat for freezing rain in Pittsburgh and really anywhere that dips very close to, if not right around 32 degrees. It'll be close. Here's 10 p.m. Areas in purple indicate that mixed precipitation. There will be some snow that mixes in as well. That's going to be generally for areas north and east of the city. Places like Newcastle, Butler, Katanning, Indiana getting a snow and freezing rain threat here tonight. That threat for you all up there will continue overnight and into tomorrow morning. So those surfaces that are untreated will be slick in spots. You can see here along the I-80 corridor, places like Butler, once again along 422 in the ridges in northeast counties, still dealing with that threat. of freezing rain at 6 o'clock in the morning. Notice it's green and a little yellow, so maybe even some pockets of moderate rain for Pittsburgh and Washington points to the south. You might be wondering why it is green, why it's rain for us by Tuesday morning. That's because the temperatures will actually rise overnight tonight, so that will end the freezing rain threat for the majority of our area, Pittsburgh and south. 9 o'clock in the morning, a lot of purple still showing up to the north. That's the freezing rain threat that ends for those areas as we head toward late morning and early afternoon. Temperatures tomorrow, hour by hour, look at this, are climbing into the mid to upper 40s, well above average. Then we're having another system that could affect our weather as we head into late Wednesday night and Thursday. I am noticing this strong low pressure system off the coast. On the backside, we look to get some scattered snow showers, but any accumulating snowfall may be minimal and confined well down to our south. Depending on the track of that system, we will certainly keep you updated. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. 40s go to 30s again on Wednesday, 20s Thursday, 20s Friday, a cold period by the end of the week, and more showers return on Sunday.
All right, thanks, Danielle. A potential buyer has come forward for Conneaut Lake Park. A cash buyer is offered to buy all of the park's assets. Officials say this person wants to invest in the property and expand on the momentum the park has built. The offer must now go through the court process. Now here's local steals and deals.
Hey, Lisa Robertson here, and I want to talk to you about something that I found to be really, really shocking. I was reading a statistic recently that 1 in 5 women are assaulted, and I was incredulous. I couldn't believe it, and it really scared me for a second. And I thought about my niece. She's going off to college. Oh, she's my heart. I think my 15-year-old niece, she, I can't imagine something happening to someone that I love. And I love this idea because it's something that I can give to them and something I can carry to really give me peace of mind and give all of us more safety. It's the Birdie personal safety alarm. And this is something you can keep on your keychain. So it comes in 5 colors, although I know the colors aren't the point. It comes in a great little brass keychain. You put on your keychain, you carry it with you. And now if your daughter or your niece is going off to college, she's carrying it with her from class to class. If you like to go running, if you like to go hiking, if you're going to your car in the parking lot in the evening, you have this with you. This is a 130 decibel alarm and a flashing strobe light. Now, I'm going to pull this and it's going to be loud, but I'm going to cover it up so it's at least bearable because this is really, really loud, okay? It's kind of startling. All right, hold on. No one is going to miss that. This is peace of mind for you and the people that you love. This is one of those things that goes with you everywhere. You can keep one in your car, you can keep one on your keychain, but think about giving one to your mom. Think about giving one to your niece. Think about giving one to your daughter. Think about giving one to your son. He's off on a college campus. He works somewhere where he's going, back and forth a long way to the car. He likes to run. This is a personal safety alarm that everyone can use. I love that it comes in 5 colors, although again, I know that's not the point. I do love the fact that you can get it for 20% off right now on localsteals.com. It's a crazy, crazy time. We could all use a little more peace of mind, a little more feeling of safety and security.